We give it 3 more minutes and we can start at like 3:10 or 2:10.
Yeah, that works, Dave. I'll just do a small intro for you and then bring you on, and then of course let's have a segment for Nolan so he can talk more on the development side, and if Alex would like to maybe get out of his comfort zone and say a few words. If not,
developers talk a little more.
Very cool. Yeah, and then guys, we have some good news. Well, we love to open up a portion of this call so you guys can ask questions. We really want to make this an interactive call. So if you guys haven't noticed, we dropped a 15-minute message from David into our Telegram, into the Facebook chats. So you guys might have heard a 15-minute update. It's a little bit more of an extension, but more of an interaction for this particular call here. But if you guys have live chats going on right now, go ahead and light them up and give them that Google link or the phone number so they can call and listen in and engage with us, say hello, and maybe give us some feedback on how they're feeling so far about this last round. So we're going to start in a couple minutes, guys. So if you just joined us, I know this is a global opportunity and this is our first call. We're going to be as consistent as possible from here on out and make ourselves accessible. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're calling in from. Just hit the mute button if you want to introduce yourself. If not, just go ahead and mute your phone out so we don't hear any background noise.
Hello there, Kizzy, calling from Virginia.
Awesome. Great to see you on here from Virginia.
Oh, Canada is here.
Canada in the house. Also a truck driver out there on the icy roads. What's going on, Roger?
Look at there.
Look at that.
Blowing snow.
We definitely want to hear from you on this call, Roger. Stay on here for us. Be safe out there too.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of that for the last couple of months, so it's been crazy.
Or Rudy, maybe I should just touch up a little more on the 15-minute recording I did.
Yeah.
The people that haven't heard it, and again, if it's double information. Better to have everyone hear and have a more broad understanding rather than, hey, you missed that. So pretty much I covered some of the things that, that we have made progress for. I know we haven't been speaking a lot, just like what Rudy said. We're going to focus more on marketing. We're going to switch gears a little bit. We've been more overly focused on development, and we need to switch gears more on marketing of our project. As you guys can see, there's only like 13, 15 people on this call. Not very many. We should be having hundreds and if not thousands in the near future. But, I don't know if anyone on here has been a part of projects with this little in the beginning, but this is not new to me. Just to give everyone a short story, so UltraLift, when we started selling in 2016, we went through a major uphill battle. I mean, we only sold, I still remember, like 198 tools, which is very, very little for a whole year of effort, right? And now we have thousands of them out there. So it as hard and difficult and depressing as that time, was, you just have to keep on going, right? You know what we're doing. We know what we're here to solve a problem. One of the biggest things for people to understand, we're solving a problem on the trucking side, right? For relating to the trucking industry. But for a lot of the general public involved with blockchain, what we're doing is we're having a whole new mining method, right? That stems from the basis of all economies, which is truck driving. So the future growth and value of our token is based on adoption, similar to a lot of the top tokens today, right? But the difference in what we're doing and how our tokens are created is from mining, from productive use, right, versus unproductive. Something that can't ever be banned by government, or shouldn't be, right? Because ours is performing a task. It's generating data that's later used. So very different from other projects. Yes, like we're starting out slow, but again, we're going to shift more gears onto the marketing. We're getting influencers involved. We're going to reach out to media outlets. And also, if anyone has advice, we're always open to advice, feedback, suggestions. Reach out to me, Nolan, or Rudy. We've had a lot of people already submitting opinions proposals and such when we're reviewing them, but we're going to switch more gears towards marketing. But just to let everyone know, progress is always there. Progress is still being done. I will be presenting the actual physical design finalized, hopefully end of February, but sometime March at the latest. It's going to be way more exciting when we have the new generation tool out there, right? When people are using it, mining, going onto the wallet, right? That's when everything happens. And when we do calls, and everyone can record this and remember, by then it should definitely not be 15 to 20 people. By then, who knows how many people, but everyone is still early here today. So that is my goal as my role to bring this product to life, right? So as UltraLift right now, what we're doing, we're still growing our client base. There's few companies in our client base that know what we're doing and partnered with Emerge and how we're tying everything to the blockchain. They're excited to wait for this tool. Of course, I didn't let our whole clientele base know yet because I want to make sure the product is here. So as far as the development on the power tool, the mining, the data, the programming, all that, I know China is on Chinese New Year. Just to let everyone know how excited the team is to continue to push and work on this. Most factories are supposed to get back on the 15th, 16th, 18th of February. Some of our team on the development side is coming back on the 8th because I told them, my name's on the line, UltraLift is online, Emerge is online, we got to deliver this product sometime this year. You know, hopefully not to the very end. Hopefully we can surprise everyone and say, hey, we have it ready, implement it out there with new drivers using it and show the whole progress and obviously make a lot of marketing materials, videos on, you know, the tool working to perform a task, mind, and, you know, obviously check on the wallet, which we'll have Alex and Nolan get on more in depth about the wallet and development of that. But yeah, I guess I can continue into some of the other topics that we want to talk about before opening up to like an AMA session, Ask Me Anything. So we're going to shift gears. We're going to focus more on user growth, right, and marketing strategies. I want to share with everyone that we're also going to focus more on the visibility of our project, right? Trade shows. UltraLift will be doing Mid-America, ATA Safety, and Iowa 88 truck stop, which is the largest truck stop in the world, right? We're going to have 3 to 4 drivers. The one that we just posted was Simon. He's going to be the first trailer that we're going to wrap. We're designing that right now. And then we have a few others coming on board. So we'll have 3 to 4 or more, right? Trailers going all across America. Some do short runs, some do long distance. So we'll have that visibility from that end, and also we'll be posting that on social media so people can see. We'll also try to capture maybe a drone footage, which will be cool, right, on the road from all angles. So that's the trade show of UltraLift. I'm going to try to get at least 2 out of 3 of those. Of course, we're a smaller team who want to grow, and we got to get more execs and more talented people. And we're in a very tough environment, if everyone knows, right? We have delays in products in the whole economy, right? We have we have shortage of people that want to work and talented people that want to work. So we're also trying to grow our management so we can move a lot faster, but we are moving. Regarding Emerging Galaxy side, May 11th to the 12th, there's going to be Blockchain Expo North America. It's a virtual conference. We're definitely looking into details on getting involved with that. There might be 1 or 2 more shows towards the latter part of the year that we may be involved in. And then also, latter part of the year, November 1st to the 4th, we'll be in partnership with McLeod, of course. That's more so on the Galaxy side. Where their token and their NFT project will come onto our Galaxy, and they have a 20 by 20 booth in SEMA, and nothing's finalized yet. But Paul Lee is a good friend of mine, and we're most likely going to be having a small section in that displaying Galaxy Wallet, which is essentially everything co-promoting, right? He's also going to put our Emerge token and Galaxy. And obviously his own token onto his NHRA race car, which will also box coverage. So again, I want to show everyone I'm going to switch more gears towards the marketing aspect of it. I still will need to be in China for the full development, and it's faster working without telecommuting, you know, especially so far, right? With different engineers with different ideas, and that's one thing. So I will be in China 2 to 3 months, sometime before the finish of this new tool miner. I have to be there to manage the whole development. So yeah, so just kind of giving everyone an update on that. This year we will deliver. We will deliver this new tool with a miner. That is without question. That is even if we don't finish raising. I will make it happen. That's my commitment to this project. I think everyone on this call is involved with more than our project, right, in the crypto space. There's a lot of projects that are not as, in my opinion, right, are not as, what's the word, not as, you know, what we have to offer, right? But again, they've done everything right on the marketing point, but it's all about execution, right? I've always believed in execution of what we're going to say we're going to do and what we're doing. Everything else will come into place. So with that said, I mean, Rudy, you want to start asking anyone for questions, and we can kind of go from there. If I covered enough.
Yeah, I think obviously you talked on a few different topics, and of course doing a recap from yesterday's 15-minute update. I think it was good. You know, what I want to do possibly before we open up questions, is it possible to hear from Nolan on the development side?
Yeah, let's do
that. Nolan, are you there?
You got to unmute, Nolan.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was doing some coding real quick. So, yeah, okay. So where do we leave off the development side, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna touch up with you and Alex on the wallet, because I know we already submitted to Google for extension, but once just to let everyone know, and once that's ready, play it with their token.
So the wallet that we're building is a non-custodial digital wallet. It's going to make it a lot safer, a lot easier for users to send, receive, store, collect, and swap tokens. And the biggest thing is because we switched from the Ethereum network to Solana, we had to resubmit. So once that gets cleared, hopefully in the next, Alex, what do you think that's going to be done by? Is he in here? Let me see. I can't see everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Alex should be here. Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
Hey, man. How are you? Good night, everybody. My name is Alex. I'm the full stack developer, part of the team that's developing the Galaxy wallet. And we're pretty excited about it because there's a lot of challenges. We're trying to do something unique, different, and like Nolan was explaining, is a non-custodian wallet, meaning that we're following the latest trend in the DeFi applications. I'm sorry if I'm talking too technical, but that's the way I think. And we're using React.js. It's a JavaScript library created by Facebook. The reason why we're doing that is because we want to be able to use the same base API platform for everything, for the Google Chrome extension, Safari extension, Brave browser extension. And also we can use for web apps and mobile apps, such as for iOS and Android. So the starting point for us is creating this base that we're going to first use on the user browsers, Chrome or whatever you guys like.
Okay. Awesome. Setup.
Can't hear you, Dave. What'd you say?
Go ahead, Nolan.
No, yeah. I mean, Alex kind of cleared everything up in a nutshell. So, Alex, what do you think in the next probably 30 days? We probably have a good outlook on when it's going to be launched.
Well, I'm following here with the guys, and what I feel here is that we'll be able to submit on Saturday, and then it takes like 48 to 72 hours for Google to evaluate what we send so they can approve or they recommend changes. And sometimes we got everything set right, but then by the time we submit, there's something new. So it's like we're trying to capture the latest development in security. So we're spending 40% of the time developing this code to make sure it's safe and secure, bulletproof. And after we submit Saturday, we need to do some testing on the user interface and the cybersecurity side, the volumes of transactions that we can handle, which we do with the simulation. And I believe 30 days we can set up that goal, but we're trying to do before that.
Right. I want to let you know the reason why we even went into wallet development, in case everyone's wondering, okay, Emerge, okay, Galaxy Wallet, why? Because obviously as a miner with the power tool for truck drivers, right, as they're using it, where does the token go after it's mined? Obviously our wallet. To work with other compatible wallets would be very difficult, and then we're on their time limit, right? How to collab with their development team. So it only made sense for us to develop our own wallet. Another thing, for all the KYCs, why KYC? It's not for Emerge, it's more so for the airdrops for the Galaxy token, for the Galaxy wallet, is because in the future you'll be transacting, doing a lot of things on the Galaxy wallet. One of the features that we want to also have on the Galaxy wallet later on, between all the real projects that's coming on board besides Emerge and everything else, is the ability to use and transact in real life, right? So as we grow, as we have more adoption, imagine at truck stops, right? Or other things that we're going to do to create adoption for our token, you'll be able to use your wallet. It's not just a store of all the tokens. So the mining capability, having it appear right onto the wallet, transfer between peer-to-peer, and also other applications that we probably will get into in the near future as it develops. So people will understand why we do require KYC. For simply, it's more on the wallet side.
And of course, Dave, we do have to verify that they're not any investors from any countries that are not allowed to do this.
Right.
Well, so we moderate every single KYC that comes in and verify them. So with that, what's going to make an easy transfer is when everybody is ready to receive their Galaxy addresses on the wallet, we're going to actually transfer all the information over. Your wallet's going to be populated and you're going to be sent an email. And it's going to say, please reset your password on the Galaxy network. And you're going to be able to, you're going to have to, not be able to, you have to change that password. And then you'll be able to access your wallet and you'll be able to see your tokens in your wallet. Yeah, unfortunately, me and Alex are very, very, very big on security protocols. So that's going to be one of the biggest things that we emphasize in the Galaxy.
No security. So that's one thing that I'm not pushing on time limits and things like that, because look at all the projects that's been hacked, right? Definitely don't want that to be, something that we're going to experience. Of course, there's no guarantees to life, right? But Alex, our top developer, just literally said, I've done, in his language, honeypots and other things that I don't understand. But I said, hey, if, you got, and of course, we're going to go through a lot of testing. But this is going to be a wallet that's going to house a lot of real world projects, right? Not software to software, real world projects. And also, I don't want to give it away. I think a lot of people probably forgot about the mystery token, but we have a couple patents that are just almost submitted. Our lawyer's taking a little bit longer. Oh, by the way, so on the Emerge side, the mining method is being submitted. So we have a lot also on the patent side being submitted. But what I was getting towards is, as our project develops and grows, everyone's going to understand why we have a mystery token that will be finally revealed and why we have the wallet. It's all going to interconnect. Regarding the mining, just to recap, we're also having dual mining on our power tool. That was also brought up by one of our clients from the UltraLift side, because they're pretty good brand. I don't want to give it away because we don't have, and this is recorded, we don't have contracts and this, that. It was just a conversation between me and the fleet director. And, a lot of these trucking companies, or even in any corporate America, right, with real products that real part of the economy, they're still very, like maybe we call it the Buffett effect, right? Just not understanding the whole blockchain and crypto side, right? So even with, some of our partners that, we're developing electric leg for and such, they can't wrap their head around how they're going to, create a token. So we have dual mining. What that is one will mine EMGT tokens, and obviously the data and such, and then we'll have another slot on there to be able to mine, for example, a fleet, like a really big fleet, they want to create their own token as a reward system for their drivers or employees or whatnot, they can have what better mining method than what we just created? Versus, you know, the current mining system, which is graphic cards on a server sitting in the ground. Other projects, not talking bad about other projects like the location, I forgot what the name is, doesn't matter, we're not marketing for them. It's still plugged into the wall, right? So what we're doing is a completely different mining method. So I want everyone to really know what we're doing. Yes, we're solving a problem in the trucking industry, but the mining method of our token and our whole system and the ecosystem, completely different. Something that's green, ergonomic, productive, job performing, you know, something that can't get shut down or banned or in the media with government or countries. Oh, and another,
so exciting.
Yeah, another thing to cover for everyone, I know this is probably, I know we did a post on this, is we only have 507 total.
Hey Dave, you're cutting out, Dave.
Okay. I have 4 bars. So
okay, there we go.
The better. Okay. So we only have 571. And Alex and Nolan, you guys should probably touch base on how long the mining will take for it to completely deplete. I don't know that part. But all of the, you know, if you average about 5 to 6 million truck drivers between United States and Canada, forget the rest of the world, right? You got about 2,000 something tokens per wallet, per driver, right? If it becomes all fully mined. So think about how many tokens you own today, right? Versus what will be allocated for mining in the future. So, and then also I want to touch base, you know, we've been on calls with people that are tied to VCs or even related or from the investment sense, the stance and such. We're one of the very few projects with real life application, right? If you look at all of the projects out there, right? We're one of the very few. I mean, there's no one that can say that there's very few, right? With real world, we have real world customers. Of course, the tool is in development. It's not out yet, but our goal is before the end of this year to have it out there. And I think that will make a very big statement when that becomes reality. And a lot of them, we will sometime this year have a VC for our project as well. And then we also have a few people that will be advising us on exchanges, which we can't get into right now, but just so obviously what everyone's involvement with our project will be, it will be at that direction.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that now we're in our third and last round, or we're going to heavily focus on marketing. Everything you guys have seen up until this point has been organic, but you know, there's definitely going to be a lot of effort put into that department. Now, real quick, before we open it up for the AMA portion where you can ask us anything, I just want to know, like, how many people have actually participated and purchased their tokens already? Wow, looks like almost everybody on this call. Good, awesome. And how was the experience? Any feedback? Was the process pretty simple? So far, awesome. I see a lot of thumbs up. Cool, good stuff. So Nolan, I don't know how this works on Google Meet, but let's go ahead and open it up for questions. I don't know if there's like a hand raising or they just have to unmute.
Just unmute their mic one at a time.
Just unmute the mic. Okay. Cool.
Hi, this is Yvonne.
Hello.
Hi, it's Yvonne. I have a quick question. I'm one of those ones that has not purchased tokens yet because I have grandma duty on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so you got me at a bad time.
I'll just go to your house, Yvonne. We're neighbors.
Okay, yes, you can just click to me to do it. So I have a question. When we did the KYC, we did it with MetaMask. Are we able to purchase the tokens with MetaMask, or are we waiting for Galaxy? So I'm just trying to catch up.
Okay, let me answer that one. Okay, so we actually disabled that feature a while ago. So even if you put your wallet address in there, because the adoption of the coin payment system that we started using, that actually is null and void now. So actually, I believe as of right now, you won't even see that feature anymore on there. Until we get the wallet, we'll actually populate that with your wallet address. So you will just have a marker inside the Emerge background of what your Galaxy Wallet address is going to be, so you can verify it when you get your new wallet email. So if there is a discrepancy, you can let us know, hey, this one doesn't match this one. I just want to make sure, I get my tokens, and you should be good.
Okay, so, but we're still considered KYC approved.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're approved. Yep.
All right, so how, if we're waiting for that wallet, again, my apologies, can we just purchase with Coinbase or anything else for now?
Yeah, you can purchase with any of your existing wallets right now.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, as long Yvonne, just like always, just don't send it from exchanges. That's all.
Yeah, strictly wallet.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we got it.
So I was wondering one thing. Do I have to add more, Rudy? Last night when I was trying, wouldn't let me hit continue. Is because maybe I need to add more money for the fees?
Yeah, so the minimum is 1,000 tokens.
Okay. So how much is that for fees?
That's $100.
For Coinbase?
It'll automatically adjust that.
Okay. Well, no, because it didn't. So I had to manually put it in, but I didn't. I'll do it after this call.
If you have any issues, you can always DM me or Rudy, and we'll help you and walk you through it and screen share it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, maybe
What's up, Sean?
I had a question earlier. Nolan, you mentioned that you guys switched from Ethereum to Solana. Were you just talking about using Solana to buy Emerge token, or is Emerge token no longer an ERC20 and you fully are going over to Solana blockchain?
Alex, you want to answer that question?
So, hey, hi, Sean.
Hey.
We originally tried Ethereum, but the last few months, the fees are like going crazy.
Yep.
And we had a smart contract on it. We own that smart contract. But now we did another contract, but on Solana network. So from now on, it's going to be Solana based.
Okay.
Because they don't have much traffic. The transactions are faster, cheaper, and more reliable. That's for sure.
We wanted to look out for the actual fees because we tested, me and Dave. I think we said only like $50 through, and it was almost what, Dave? It was like $10, $15 just to do this. And we finally made the conscious decision of going, okay, what's a great network that, who's going to be in the payment industry? And that is the Solana network. Bank of America is even looking at them to take over certain aspects. So I think it's a very stable, very, very good network. And it only makes it even better for us because the fees are so low. That's what we're trying to do. We're looking out for the consumer on this.
Another thing to continue on with my last question was, I remember I was part of round one. So when we did that, everyone put in their MetaMask wallet. Do I need to go back into the Emerge website and put in my Solana wallet now, or how's that going to work?
No, you're totally fine. That was actually the question from the other lady. Okay. We disabled that feature.
Okay.
So, because before, the way that we were doing it, we did not have coin payments activated yet. So we were actually manually verifying. So we were using that to verify your wallet address where it was sending from. But now that we have the coin payment system, we do not need to have that anymore.
Okay. So then the tokens will be sent to the Galaxy wallet, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
There'll be a migration process once we're ready.
Okay.
Yep.
And you'll see your Emerge tokens as well as your Galaxy tokens and your mystery drop, correct, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Or any
exciting
other
times.
Maybe I should touch base on something important just so everyone involved with the project knows. Like, I probably touched on it, but I want to just go further on it.
And Dave as well. I definitely want to hear from Roger since he's a trucker and he's on the call. So we'll do that right after you.
So the whole adoption process, right, which is what, blockchain, tokens, what everything is about, right? As we grow with adoption, right, and this comes later with miners out there, more people having a wallet on the Galaxy wallet. With more adoption, when people are using it, mining it, transacting with EMGT, and it will happen, that's what we're really going for, right? When truck drivers are charging, or able to invoice, accept, just like right now, people accept Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum for goods and services, even outside of what blockchain is, right? Because they see value in it. The day that we're already going to have insurance companies buy it, so that demand is already naturally there. But what else do you think is going to happen when everyone in that sector has a demand for the token? Then anything related to that sector will have a demand for that token. Let me give you an example. So a company that requires let's say wherever Roger's doing the delivery from, right, components to finish assembling a product, right? Well, right now everything's just done with paperwork, regular payment system and such. If they regularly see what's going on, or even from a company standpoint, right, a company with its own drivers mining and having the token, there's going to be one day a change when people see the value. Of course, this is also tied another segment of us being on exchanges and having a value next to it. When all of that happens, there's going to be more demand, and that's what we're kind of going for. And more demand, multiply that with adoption, and that's how we become a top 20, top 30 token. One of the tokens that I like to always reference ourselves with, and everyone knows, is VeChain. Okay, so VeChain covers two things, right? To be able to detect, false luxury brands or whatnot, and also the transportation side, the logistics, which what we're trying to cover, right? We have a solution that does it in real time, right? We have patents for it. We have partners for it. So we're essentially, what we're doing, we have a better chance of accomplishing what they wrote that they're going to accomplish because of what we have on the technology side, on the software side, and the partnerships. So with more adoption, with more marketing, with more use cases, right, of people transacting, and pretty soon we're going to also have a feature on UltraLift's website to be able to pay any emerged tokens for the tool, and also having people come on board with mining, right? For the general public to participate in the mining, well, there's plenty of drivers. I mean, I was on a call yesterday with two drivers that just can't afford it, but they drop and hook 4 or 5 times a day. And I said, okay, if you can't afford it in the future, if you just want to provide data, right? Because every truck driver, whether it's company or individual, have workers' comp insurance. Well, by them doing their part, supplying the data onto the blockchain, we're going to have more insurance companies slowly. Then I'm going to focus on marketing and targeting more insurance companies, set examples. So as we build this whole ecosystem and more real world use cases, right, that's how adoption will happen. Not saying one day we're going to get to Bitcoin or Ethereum prices, but I want everyone to see the vision of how this can happen. That's the most important part. And it's very realistic. Right? That's kind of what I want to touch and have everyone kind of what we're going for. I know a lot of people involved with the project are just like, okay, this is trucking, doesn't relate to me. No, we're solving a problem in the trucking industry, but at the same time, the foundation basis of mining a token, we're doing it with industry that matters versus plug it in, solving math problems for difficulty. We're mining through a data algorithm that matters. So I wanted to really make that clear so everyone, and if it's still confusing to anyone, please reach out to me, Nolan, Rudy, and we'll try to answer in another way. But I hope that's the clarity that everyone can get from this call.
Yeah, that's huge, and I think like anything else, right? It takes a few different exposures and seeing different explainers, and obviously you got to be exposed to this information at least 3 to 5 times for it to really sink in. It's new, it's first of its kind, right? We're a unique utility token that really there's no competition. There's nobody like us in the market. We welcome it, but at the same time, we're 6 years of already use cases. We have customers. We're already showing that we can go ahead and develop and deliver this to the market. Like Dave said earlier in the call, later on this year or early 2023, but we'd love to see this later this year in 2022. Speaking of the industry and logistics and transportation, we have a truck driver on the call. He's a good friend of mine out of Canada. I think in the Winnipeg area, and he drives for FedEx, and he's just a badass. And appreciate everything you do on the for us, Roger. It's great to have you on the call. How's it going out there?
Oh, I could tell you a long story about how it's going, because this week had a little bit of everything. Monday we left. We had to shut there down for 3 times because visibility was 0. Snow was blowing like crazy, and it was going down to minus 30, minus 35. And I always say it this way: if you're a Canadian trucker, you don't know what no is. No Canadian trucker takes no for an answer. If they say the road is closed, if there's not a gate for it, they will drive. I have done it last week again. Everything was shut down on a website and everyone was just hammering through. But running through a highway with snowdrifts sometimes 2 foot high, there's just a trail for one vehicle and everyone is going. That's just a part of Canadian Trucker. But another thing what I like to hear, that they switched it over to the Solana network. I like the Solana network. I think it's way faster. I'm not too familiar with it, but I think it's a better option than Ethereum's network. But I have nothing against Ethereum, but the gas fees sometimes are a pain in the ass. And otherwise, I dislocated a rib 2 weeks ago in my chest, pushing a dolly that what we use between trailers by A-train. And by that time, I would already have gladly that tool here to crank those legs up and down, because minus 30, you sometimes can do what you want. It's just...
Wow. So Roger, let me ask you this. So you have a program for, I know you drive for FedEx. So FedEx has been, we've talked to FedEx back in 2018 or 17. Same thing at the same time at Walmart. Large fleets at that caliber it takes a longer time to get that account for UltraLift, right? But we have a lot of drivers, 10 driver fleets, 20, 50, 3, 5, those are super quick. But for a large company like FedEx, it's going to be like a $20-30 million cost. Now, Roger drives for FedEx, and I'm pretty sure in FedEx every year, because of how many drivers that they have throughout the country, throughout the world, there's going to be at least, let's just say FedEx has 20,000 drivers. I don't have the exact number, but at least an injury perspective, right? There's at least 1 to 2%, right? But let's say 1%. 1%, that's 200 drivers being injured. Not necessarily landing gear, but let's just say in the whole category, right? But for landing gear, I would say at least 50% of that, if that. So for FedEx, they're experiencing about 100 injuries on average, roughly. I'm just estimating. It's a proven, guaranteed fact that there's injuries for landing gear every year. They can't ever come out with a statement that it's 0. Just impossible. But for them, most of the bigger companies, and it's unfortunate, is they look at, okay, average cost of insurance, workers' comp, $40,000 to $50,000 per driver. So if you have 50 drivers injured times that amount, it's $2 million. So they look at that as a $2 million loss, but they don't count all the X factor. You're bringing new drivers, no experience in the field, right? Because shortage of workers in every field right now. Doesn't matter if truck drivers, it could be factory workers, it could be retail, it could be restaurant workers. There's a shortage everywhere, right? So it's a very tough environment where they don't look at the X factor of things. But how they look at it is, okay, it's $2 million every year. If I was to retrofit any solution to prevent those injuries, that's $20 million. The ROI takes 10 years. That's how they look at it, and that's why it's a more difficult approach. But with what environment we are in, the whole social media, the whole campaign movement, the whole, Colorado story, Canada story, where drivers are now putting a stance. Once more drivers realize that they're renting their arm and back for their company, there will be some type of movement. And by then, the adoption phase of our product, our blockchain mining solution, will go through the roof. So again, that's on an optimistic view. But if everyone can kind of see it, we're not here selling that, but if you can see it, that's what we're going for. So I mean, Roger, from what we're doing, I mean, are we solving a big problem in the trucking industry, in your opinion? Did we lose him?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, my phone sat down on me, so. Yeah, I would say 110%. There's even multiple problems what you guys were fixing, because the data mining for insurance companies for workers' compensations and like the physical tool to push it up and down will be way beneficial for all those truckers, because that's where all the injuries happen, by cranking those legs and hit you somewhere or fall by doing it, because here in Canada, like especially in the winter, it is slippery and icy. And if you don't know how you do it, because it's especially hard in the winter to turn those legs up and down, you will slip. And I think definitely 110% you guys fix more than one problem, that for sure.
So for anyone joining this call, the correlate, the insurance companies, number one, want the data of proof that drivers are using the tool, right? Just from that, they can eliminate all payouts, meaning if there was an injury, they're saying, well, you're using the tool, how can you get injured? I completely understand that from the insurance company's perspective. So that is one thing. Obviously, the other data that can be generated, because it's like, okay, this is a power tool. It only raises and lowers the landing gear. What other data can it possibly have, right? So there's 6 other data metrics, which is in our white paper and also on our website. So I don't want to cover that, spend 10 minutes covering that. But those are the data metrics that's also valuable to workers' comp. We also will be, our data generated will also be centralized and decentralized. So for all the newcomers, centralized is where anyone can view it, right? Decentralized is only to the company, like, or the fleet. The reason why we want some centralized data is so that we can provide that data to government entities, American Trucking Association. They definitely want some of this data. DOT, Department of Transportation. Now, by working with even parts of the government, that'll also help our project with more adoption. One day, hopefully, we can get this lobby. Then we would have hundreds of thousands, millions of these miners, right? So just to kind of let everyone know how the correlation of why insurance companies want this data and how our token works with that. But more so important is just we're building the whole foundation. Yeah, so open for more questions. Rudy, if you want to.
Yeah, actually, I got one thing to add, Rudy and David. First and foremost, thank you for this opportunity for all of us and all of us that were early adopters and founders in this. We do appreciate the benefit that you are bringing to, not only the crypto community, but also to the community of people that are involved in the trucking industry and beyond. But for everyone on the call, there's one thing you want to think about, and it's literally the easiest statement that I can ever make to you, and it's this. This is the only project out there that has a utility without having to create a utility. Think about that. The utility is UltraLift's tool. The tool has already been there. Now they're going to take the tool and they're going to put it on the blockchain using the data metrics to allow the companies to communicate with each other without having to have the involvement of the truck drivers and having it as a seamless connection, while at the same time minimizing any kind of risk from these truck drivers. I mean, it's the easiest slam dunk. And it's just a matter of adoption, as David said. When the adoption becomes there, everybody's going to be happy about getting involved early, and they're going to wish that they were able to put in more.
Yeah, thank you. One thing I want to cover, and of course this is unscripted, so some things, new information, new content just comes into mind. we're one of the few projects that has every fundamental of blockchain and the crypto space involved. For example, in the future, when we have all the data comprised onto our blockchain, right, onto the blockchain in our system, in our ecosystem, we'll then start, because Alex has AI background and it's his dream to lead an AI team. So later on, we will also be implementing AI part of this project, which is really interesting. So the data first was for the workers comp section of for insurance companies, right? But when we have AI to compile all the different data, is this trucking company going and doing drop-in hooks in high-risk zones? How many times a day versus the other ones? There's so many different metrics that they can compile, and AI will then determine, as insurance companies start insuring or renewing, hey, this is a higher risk fleet. This is a lower risk fleet. I want people to see that. So we have real AI implementation into the use of our data later to help insurance companies predetermine. Also, as far as like, we're only able to monitor one segment of the safety for the truck driver, right? But at least on the wallet, we're also going to have features with badges, and it'll also have track record of how long different drivers. This only pertains to the drivers though, but it's almost like having a whole history and AI being able to determine where right now, let's say a company hiring a driver can only go off of, resume, what license he has and whatnot. We can also create a history protocol of how long this, and validate on the blockchain how long this driver's really been driving, right? How many times do people hear about when they're hiring, doesn't matter what industry, you're only going on credit check, a resume, background, or references, right? But what blockchain can solve is eliminating all that. If we have records of drivers using our tool for a year, they've been driving, right? It's on the blockchain. So there's so many more things that will add on. Of course, we need to grow our team. We need to grow our dev team a lot more. But I want people to realize how we can also implement AI into the whole picture. And we're going to. Not to go into the whole grand scheme of things, but we're only solving one segment right now. But as we grow and as all this is happening, we're going to have partners with all the other companies that are just watching us right now, such as digital air pressure monitoring, chassis companies like CIMC. I mean, they just changed their name, but I keep thinking of them as CIMC. They're going to have 15 to 20,000 of our brackets installed. We're going to be at ports, right? Later on, I can see the communication between a container on a vessel, on a chassis, driver picking it up, weigh station, everything communicating. Imagine the day when that happens. That's a bigger grand scale of what we're trying to accomplish. Of course, takes time, execution, a lot of execution, and a lot more team members, but we're starting off with a foundation. But that is what we would be completing the cycle with all the partners. Of course, we're not the only ones doing it, bringing them all on and partnered through data sharing. We will cover A to Z in the whole logistics from a container all the way to deliveries to any site, right, to the end user. So just so anyone can envision the whole facilitation of a delivery from A to Z. Maybe not entirely some of the other things, but a good chunk of it. What Ethereum is trying to accomplish by data communicating with each other on the software sense, we're doing that with real life application.
No, that's huge, David. And obviously, because of what you've been saying, my phone is kind of coming in with some questions right now.
Okay.
But one thing I would love for you to kind of touch on, and I know we're still working out all the details, we have a committee put together, but let's talk a little bit more about the sponsorship program and how, the average consumer can be involved and sponsor a trucker and collect EMGTs.
Okay, so that will take more time. We're gonna release that sometime end of this month, but it definitely has way more thought process to come up with the details of that program. But we're getting a lot of, drivers not able to afford the solution or putting in their back burner. We have, at least if I compile the last 5-6 years of selling this product, we should have at least 1,000+ drivers right now, right, that know about us, right? They just didn't want to spend the money. and we have, you know, a good amount of people that mine tokens and other, you know, for the blockchain crypto space. Well, to participate, we would just match both, right? For a sponsor to sponsor a driver, and I don't know the exact details, but that's how the general public can participate in the mining versus just truckers. It's not just truckers. Everyone can participate in some shape, way, or form. So for the ones that don't buy our power tool, we will have a list for those, right? Because of the cost or whatever the reason. And then we will have a sponsor list. It's almost like matchmaking. But the only thing that we have to put more thought into it is, how do you know? And it's really a gamble in a way. Certain drivers drop and hook less than other drivers. So it really is, you know, how do we do that matchmaking? Because last thing we want is someone buying a miner, giving to a driver, they only drop and hook once a week and they're not mining as much, versus someone super happy, this driver's dropping and hooking 10 times a day or more, right? There's a lot more thought that has to be put into this if everyone can understand, right? So to make it somewhat fair in a way, a lot more thought, but we will come up with program details, and that's how someone can participate from the mining aspect as well.
Yeah, the way I like to look at this is like HNT, right? Helium, or, you know, XYO. These are some of the mobile mining already that's happening, but the difference is that HNT is just sitting at your home, and you can't take it anywhere with you. You know, you can buy several of them and put them in different locations, but at the end of the day, this is going to be like HNT on wheels. If you guys really want to put things into perspective, and when you think about it, the average consumer can just sit at home and, like Dave said, we'll work out all the details, but imagine collecting a percentage that's allocated to you and allocated to the truck driver. And obviously, depending on how much more they drop and hook throughout the week, then obviously you're going to earn more based on activity. So it is almost like a lot effect, right, David, when you think about it, because you really don't know if your driver is going to perform better than the last.
There's also a lot more to put into the process. Thoughts, like I said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to be on exchanges later on, and the driver's mining a tool that was sponsored by someone else, right? He's going to say, okay, this doesn't make sense for me. I might as well just buy a tool. Then what? There's so many, and you know, I can already think of a lot of scenarios, but it'll take time. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have that program probably established end of this month. And if anyone has feedback or suggestions, and they have their thoughts on scenarios that can happen, please reach out to us, because that'll help speed up that process. But everyone can understand, right? I see so many different scenarios, and we just need to tie in the terms and conditions. And before it's like, hey, everyone, get a sponsor, get a miner. Then it'll, you know, we want to do it the right way so we don't have any conflicts and such. But yeah, as far as I don't understand that. You know, what we're doing is completely different, Rudy, because what they're location mining, right? It's there's privacy issues with that, and it's like, who wants that data of that location, right? Is it centralized, decentralized? We don't know. What the drivers are doing, and with our miners, that data is going onto our blockchain and you know, the whole ecosystem for access for insurance companies, DLT, ATA, fleet managers.
Fleet managers, yeah.
So we have value in the data that's generated. So completely.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't compare ourselves to that. The only reason.
Yeah, no, I think in a way it's just that I want to talk about familiarity, right? A lot of people know Helium, a lot of people know XYO. So I want to just let you guys know that we're thinking on a whole nother level. We want to take it more of like a mobile application where it's hooked to performing a task. And obviously the more that the drivers use it, the more you're going to make. I think it's such a cool concept. I love it. You know, there's just so many things, like, you know, people are asking me right now about the insurance carriers. Let's talk about that a little bit more if you can. We know that this is a huge incentive, right? It's more of an ergonomic solution. Like we heard from Roger just saying, you know, it's going to prevent injuries. It's something that we've needed for years. It's just, a lot of people don't know about it, but there's more than just the mining incentive and being safe. We have insurance carriers giving grants, right, to these truck drivers.
Okay,
Can we talk about that a little bit more?
So we have we have two insurance partners. We have one of them that just gave a grant to a trucking company, and they're coming on board. What's good about this grant is insurance companies are paying out so much that they're like, okay, to prevent the injuries, let's just supply the equipment, because if they're not supplying the equipment themselves and they can't afford it or don't want to, we're paying out. We're not making money from an insurance company. We're not making money if I'm an insurance company, right? If I'm making these payouts, they're not making money. So they're thinking, okay, might as well give grants so that they're collecting the premiums and for sure not making the payouts. Only makes sense. But this is just because of our non-smart tool, right? But when the smart tool comes, I could see the insurance companies giving grants as well as maybe just, working out some kind of a deal to supply the tools to their clients, right? But in return, maybe the token's mine goes to them. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we'll know in the very near future. But how they make their money back by supplying the tools, and this is showing right now they're not making their money back by giving grants. That's already an expense gone, right? Yes, they're preventing losses by payouts, but in the future, imagine them, trucking company, 100 drivers. They're like, hey, we'll give you the solution, but we own the mining. Well, they have to use EMGT to access the data. They're doing that for free. So if they can calculate, well, I'm accessing all that data. I mean, to give an example, if we were, I don't know the set price yet, but let's say $10 just to keep it simple. $10 times 100 drivers is $1,000 a month that they would have paid. Well, they're saving that, right? 1 year goes by, that's 12 grand, right? Because they're using the tokens mined by the drivers. It's a win-win-win scenario. And hopefully, and it's a good point you brought up that, so I hope people can see it. Right now, they're giving grants. That's a lost cost. One time spent, they're not recuperating that. This just prevents them from having losses by payouts. In the future, with the smart tool and the mining, imagine an insurance company saying, hey, we'll supply all the tools, but we own all the tokens mined. They're using those just for the data, so they have free data. Instead of paying $1,000 a month, just on a scenario of one client with 100 drivers, they saved 12 grand in a year by supplying the tool. And they have tokens to hold on for future value. So it's a win-win.
So huge. So huge. I love it. And since we're talking about utility, remember that call that you and me had, Dave, was those guys in Utah. When we talk about using EMGT for trucking services, right? Factoring and helping offset some of their invoices for trucking services. I want people to really understand the real utility behind Emerge Token. It's not just about the tool. It's not just about the insurance carriers accessing data. There's so much more to it. So if you guys are not familiar with Factory, we want to be able to use EMGT to help truck drivers pay for their services, for logistics and invoicing. And maybe, David, since you're familiar in that industry, maybe you can talk about that. And then maybe wrap it up, because I know we're going a little over an hour here.
That I don't want to talk too much on it, only because we're not there yet, right? When it happens, will be constant updates, but there will be. I mean, if everyone has a vision of the value of our token and the use cases for it in the future, there should be some correlation for uses and partnerships with truck stops, with repair centers, with anything tied to logistics. It starts there, but it'll trickle onto everything else. The general society, it will, but it starts with there. So everyone can see different segments of the trucking industry and logistics using our token, or slowly having that adoption. And then later on, it goes everywhere. Why? Because for games delivered to GameStop, it's trucking, right? Food to grocery stores, it's trucking. People will soon realize that, and later on, that's what we're hoping to accomplish. So when that happens, that's the true value of our token and our project.
Absolutely. I love it. Cool. Before we wrap this up, I want to open it up. Are there any other questions out there? Any comments? Any suggestions based on what you heard?
Hey, just want to say thanks for the update. That was really good info. And I was part of round one, and everyone in this company has been super helpful. Even when I had a couple newbies to crypto, they lost some of the payments, and everyone was like super cool, and they helped out and found the transactions, and everything's been a really great experience so far.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Sean. Thank you.
I would just like to say congratulations, guys. I know how hard it is to put together a project like this. I mean, I've never done anything like this before, putting a project together like this, but I could only imagine all the bits and pieces. So you guys should be really, really proud of yourself. And I'm super glad to be a part of this team at the very, very beginning. So I just stay focused, guys, because we're counting on you.
Thank you.
I do want to, I can bring up some form of adoption. So UltraLift, we have over 100 plus dealers, right? Some of our dealers, 2 of them, I don't want to bring the name until everything's finalized. We'll be updating, giving the news. 2 of them are kind of aware of Emerge and our project. So they're dealers, right? Somehow later on, we can have some form of, again, I will have Emerge on UltraLift's website as a form of payment too for the power tool going forward. We're going to create more uses. The dealers can offer discounts or start accepting EMGT as discounts or whatnot. There's 2 of them very interested in what we're doing. So probably 3 of them actually. But that will also start everything, right? From dealers. Right? Dealers, they handle parts, they handle other companies' stuff, right? From all sorts of things. So just like how, in the beginning, Bitcoin grew, right? They had all these accepted, and Bitcoin has no utility besides the store value, right? The 21 million. They have all these different signs, accepted where. I mean, we will get there, but again, we're shifting our gears more to marketing and more to the visibility of our project, which we need to, versus the development. But the development is already there. Just want everyone to know.
It reminds me of that video that surfaces on the internet. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's one guy on stage at a Bitcoin conference in 2010, and they packed this whole, like a hotel room, and there was only like 2 people in the seats. Okay, again, it just reminds you of like how these things start. You may not be able to see it now, but remember, it takes vision, it takes courage to take action, and obviously congratulations to those that participated in the very beginning. The only thing we can ask of you guys from here on out is just to continue sharing this, continue educating people, and we're going to do our part by releasing more updates, keeping you guys engaged through social media, myself hooking up with people like Sean, YouTube influencers, to kind of get the word out there and start building up that momentum, because that's what it takes. And I know about the holidays, we were paused, but there's a reason for that. Now a lot of people are celebrating because we're on the Solana network as opposed to the ERC20, where we were just having, high gas fees, missing payments. I mean, it was just crazy. So now everything's going a little more smoother and we're maturing. And if you really think about it, if you put things in perspective between the first 2 rounds and this round, it's only been a few months, that we've been operating the Emerge side. For UltraLift, it's been 6 years. So we really just need to make sure that we tie the 2 together and educate people and show them the power of Emerge token. And, you guys can steal this at only 10 cents. I mean, when you guys really put things into perspective, and we're not going to speculate or say any prices, but what people are telling us, I'm just telling you right now, 10 cents is an absolute steal. And you guys are very fortunate to know about it. And I'm very grateful to have all of you guys, whether you're watching this live or even on the replay, that reach out and ask me questions about how to get your hands on some of these Emerge tokens. So thank you.
Yeah, also, if anybody has any issues with finding their referral link, or how to do with that or whatever, just let me know and I can help you. Probably make a video where the referral link is, but it's very easy to get. Remember, you guys get a small portion on anything somebody else does. So we always appreciate you guys bringing other people to the table and having them share what we're eating. So thank you again, everybody.
Hey, Nolan, while I have you on the call, can you talk a little bit more about the support tickets and the KYC? Just maybe set some expectations as people start bringing more members in.
You said support tickets and what else?
Support tickets and KYCs, if you can just kind of set expectations for timelines, because I know you got a lot on your plate.
So support tickets, we're just asking everybody to submit them if they, did send, the wrong to the wrong wallet or anything like that. Please get them in there. There will be somebody that's going to be issued to it. Guys, we do have our own support module that Emerge owns. So this is like a full call center like looking software that we own. So everything is done inside there. So no need to send an email to help desk or anything, or even to info. When you set up the support ticket, you actually get a personal person. It could be me, it could be Alex, it could be anybody in our industry, or I'm sorry, not industry, but in our company. But once we reply to you, everything is done through that area. So the whole the whole ticket will be addressed in that actual site. So you could see what's going on. You can actually upload documents. We could do everything there. So if there is an issue, please go to the help desk. It's at the bottom of the emergetoken.com site. You'll see it says help desk. Just click on that. There's a little bit of a registration that you got to put in there because we do need the information from the Emerge site to populate over there so we can actually see what you guys did, and then we'll take care of it from there. And then KYCs, Rudy, I think we addressed that earlier on why we need the KYCs. I don't know if you were on mute or something, but
no, I heard it. I just wanted to hear the timeline. That's all. Because people are asking.
I'm not. Oh, the time group of KYC. So all KYCs are actually moderated every hour. So cool. Unless it's nighttime, sometimes I can't really get to it. I do have 6-year-old twins that require a lot of it when Dad gets home. But I have my laptop on me at all times. I'm sorry, my iPad, everything. So I can do everything. To be honest with you, I was approving KYCs last night while I was getting a haircut at 9 o'clock at night. So, but yeah, I'm always on. I'm always getting things done. And if you hit us up in the Telegram, I pretty much will answer every single DM. So don't be scared to hit me up. I'll answer any questions if you guys need any help with anything.
Awesome. And if you guys are listening to this, just make sure you give us feedback on how you like the Google link calls versus the Zoom calls. I personally like this Google link. It's a lot easier for people to access. Zoom, they ask for a code and a password sometimes, and it's just a little bit more complicated for people. But I do like this Google link. Let me know how you guys feel about it. And I think Dave and Nolan can agree, and I'm sure Alex. We're all going to be here more often. We want to make ourselves accessible, and of course, we want to make sure that we're giving you guys information to new members. So the more we can grow this, the better. Okay, we love to see you. We love to talk to you, but if we have the same people every week, then there's really no point in having these calls. But again, we're here and we're accessible.
Well, regarding the call, won't be all the time, but
as much as we can.
We will be posting more, and we will be interacting on social media.
Yes, 100%. Cool. Any other questions or comments before we wrap this thing up, guys? Appreciate you joining us this afternoon and this evening.
I have a quick question, if I could.
Yeah.
I'm trying to purchase through crypto.com in the round 3, but because I'm just setting up the wallet, it says it has to wait 24 hours. So does the link...
That's actually an issue with crypto.com, not ours. So that's the verification time on them, yeah.
But will it be a problem that I have to wait till tomorrow to finish that process?
No, you're totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're 100% good. Yeah, crypto.com has a little bit of security issues going on with it right now. So they're taking their time on doing a lot of things.
Well, I was trying to do another one while I was on the phone here, but Coinbase, but I couldn't even look. Coinbase said it was having some issues.
Yeah.
So I couldn't log in.
Rudy, what do you think
so I'm like,
would probably be the easiest one?
Oh, I haven't used that one yet.
Which one did you say, Nolan?
Exodus?
Yeah, so Exodus is my favorite, guys, because and again, it's just my opinion, but you have complete control of your digital assets, and you have your private keys. So just remember, without any birth date, social security number, your your address. It doesn't care about all that information. Just go to Exodus, download the app, save your private keys, and send it from there. It's a lot more easier.
Well, since I already did it in crypto, can I just wait and keep it that way? Or if I move it to Exodus, then I have to pay more fees to go through all that, right?
No, send it from crypto.com after your 24-hour, and then from there, moving forward for additional purchases, you can move it to Exodus and share that with your people as well.
Until Galaxy, and you're going to use that.
Galaxy will be that's going to be fun. I can't wait. That'll make everything easier for our users.
So why don't, if there's no more questions, I can finish it with a closing statement. Should we, Rudy, ask?
Cool. Yeah. Any other questions, guys, before Dave closes it out for us?
No, I would just want to say about that Exodus wallet. Make sure you have the right website if you download it.
Make sure. Oh yeah, there's more than one. So make sure it's Exodus digital wallet. Correct. There's a desktop version.
How about this, Rudy? How about this? When you're ready to download Exodus, go ahead and reach out to either me and Rudy. We'll make sure you get the proper link.
That too.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Any other questions or comments, guys, before David wraps this up? Going once, going twice. David, the floor is yours.
All right. So now the closing statement, obviously not prepared for this, but I just think it's something really good to share with everyone. And when people just hear trucking, most people won't think about this until they hear things like this. Being in the trucking space, right, selling power tool safety equipment to the trucking industry and the new clients that we picked on the UltraLift side, I mean, having a clear understanding that trucking involves almost everything, right? We have farmers, we have companies, right, with products that they make for, you know, brands like Coca-Cola, Fujifilm, Boeing, right? Boeing uses us. So it's like, you know, planes, everyone goes on a plane, right? Everyone goes to see movies. Everyone goes to the grocery store. Everyone goes to concerts, right? I mean, we picked up a concert equipment, you know, I mean, it was only 2 drivers and 6 trailers, but the whole fact of the importance that the trucking space touches base on I mean, for us to be even on this call, the phone, right? How do you think phones are made? Different components from different suppliers, and it's trucked to the assembly site. Housing, right? Everything. I can't think of one thing that doesn't require trucking, right? For the movement, where we're sitting, right? Everything. I mean, it could go on and on. It all came from trucking. So as we got all these different, I mean, we have window manufacturers, you know, with trailers. We have concrete people that do cement for the roads, right? Just the whole importance of every aspect of life, right? That we go through, whether we're consumers or we go, you know, to an event or whatnot. Everything had to do with trucking. Even blockchain, right? Servers, computers, programmers to work on it. Without that, there is no blockchain. Without the delivery of those, right? Or without deliveries of those components for, you know, the server companies to make them, right? Or laptops or whatnot. It's probably the most vital industry in the whole world stems from it. And I think everyone can feel it today by all the delays we have in our economy, right? How many people went to buy something, there's delays. How many people went to, or, you know, because of that, because of the supply shortage, the increase in prices, right? I think people today feel the effects of the trucking industry way more than before when everything was going smooth. But just to understand, everything stems from it. And that's why our mining concept from the trucking industry, I want everyone to realize we're mining a token from a vital industry. It's not just to mine a token. And obviously for the emerge side, for all the data that's supplied, right? And all the use, we're also one of the few projects that later on there's demand for purchasing the token based on its use. Not with everything else is just, who else is gonna buy it? Who else is gonna buy it, right? Transactions on exchanges, right? How many tokens right now are just purely from people buying it, holding it, selling it to someone else, transacting that way, right? How many tokens really have a real use? So I want to leave it at that and have everyone kind of see it. If they see it, great. If not, keep joining our calls, and hopefully, one of these days, on one of these calls, you will. But we're stemming off our mining system from a vital industry. So yeah, so that's a finishing statement. Rudy, I don't know if you got anything else to say.
No, that's it. I appreciate it. And I don't know why my phone is sideways, but my phone is not sideways. So yeah, no, that was a great closing statement, and appreciate everybody being on here. Stay engaged on social media, and wait for our next call. Appreciate everybody. Have a great day.
See you guys.
All right. You have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.